Michelangelo's David statue was struck by lightning, which removed the right arm, and then that actually happened. It's like, whoa, there. Can we relax?
Yeah. The recording was sent to a London theatre the band was due to play at, found years later in a car boot sale. Imagine finding out in a fucking car boot.
Because there's the theory that Matt Groening is a time traveller.
Okay.
And he's gone back in time and created The Simpsons and then put all this stuff in.
Quite like that theory.
Then you got a decision: do I come out and say, yeah, I'm a fucking alien, bro, or you just play it cool and just make more shit and predict more?
You were in the trenches when this came out.
Honestly, that's when you find out how funny people actually are. And spoiler alert, they're fucking not funny.
It's like specific on specific, telling you Matt Groening's a fucking time traveller.
If you watch Matt from whatever period of time you're in, comment.
So when the episode aired a year later, everyone thought The Simpsons was spoofing the event, but it turned out they'd recorded his lines a month before.
That's insane.
Wow. APMA, we're back with another episode, and in today's episode we are going to, can this be classed as a conspiracy? This is a conspiracy, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
This is, I'm sure you've seen the odd article and meme, etc., of when The Simpsons have accurately predicted the future. Well, Lozzie's gone away at the suggestion of someone in the Discord.
Yeah, shout out to Mitch Payne 96
Mitch
in our
Payne.
Discord for suggesting this.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. And here we have an article brought by Lozzie. Not written, but brought by Lozzie. 21 times The Simpsons accurately predicted the future. So we're going to be talking about these predictions, obviously, and then delving into a few movies and series that have predicted the future from different points in time, and basically see how they add up, pretty much.
Where they went wrong, where they went right.
Yeah.
That sort of style.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this one. It's going to be interesting. Right, okay, well, Lozzie, take it away.
Well, first of all, your preference. The way I looked at this is I didn't even know Simpsons is like how many seasons there are of it.
Oh, man.
Fucking
what are they on
ridiculous.
now?
I don't even know.
Let's see. It wouldn't be surprised me if they're on like season 30 or 40.
Yeah, they've been going since like
late 80s?
Yeah, like late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, I started watching them growing up.
Yeah. So if they're still going now,
I used to love The Simpsons.
it's ridiculous.
So
the amount of things. What I'm trying to say is the amount of things they have to write into a show.
Yeah.
They've got more material, so there are going to be inevitably things that if they make predictions,
some will come
they make that many of them that they might come true. But some of the stuff in here is weird.
There's one that will no doubt come up, and I'm not going to mention it right now, but there is one involving Donald Trump that the amount of details is fucking terrifying, including a woman dropping a piece of paper. To that extent, it's scary. So yeah.
But yeah, we'll
creepy.
Credit to the insider for this.
And Matt Groening.
Obviously, the creator of Simpsons. Yeah, cheers for that, mate. But yeah, this article, all it does is details the 21 times that it's accurately predicted the future, which is
terrifying. Has anyone seen The Simpsons recently? I don't know.
No.
Have they followed suit of, like, you know, because I feel like South Park, for example, they stay relevant is they talk about relevant things.
Yes. I think I watched one fairly recent, maybe like a couple of years ago, but they definitely come with, because they had like mobile phones and stuff.
Right, so
they've adapted
tweaking
a bit. And their humour's, I imagine it's still on point. Their writing team's always been pretty good in it. But if anyone does follow it now, it'd be interesting. I would get my kids to watch it, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know how quick the turnaround time of episodes is for Simpsons.
Yeah.
Because I know, obviously, that's part of the reason that the creators of South Park do what they do, is because the turnaround time on an episode means that they can make something.
I'm pretty sure there have been a few seasons of South Park where the turnaround has been a week.
Really?
So they
insane.
write it and create it a week prior
Yeah.
to putting it out.
It's insane.
Which is fucking mental.
What, for an episode or season?
For an episode.
episode.
Oh, for an
So
episode.
they go episode by episode.
Oh, okay. Got it, yeah.
And so
Got a
they're
week
able to be so on point with like current affairs
Yeah.
and
Like,
stuff.
literally, something just happened a few days ago. They'll have it out by the end of the week, ready to go.
Yeah.
Simpsons takes 6 months for an episode.
There you go.
So, yeah.
So yeah, they're working on a much more long term scale of time,
Yeah.
which makes these even more, I guess,
Interesting,
weird.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. We'll scroll down and have a look at the first. I don't know why, but this first one, just going to totally ignore because it says season 2, episode 4, the three-eyed fish, and then it proceeds to talk about how Simpson was voting for Barack Obama in the 2008
Right.
election. So it wasn't even
Not even related.
to it at all. So scroll down to the next one. This one's about the censorship of Michelangelo's David in
Right.
season 2, episode 9. An episode from 1990 titled "Itchy and Scratchy and Marge." Does it say?
Yeah.
Can't see from here.
Yeah.
Showed Springfield's
Springfieldians.
Springfieldians protesting against Michelangelo's statue of David being exhibited in the local museum, calling the artwork obscene for its nudity. And it went on that it says Russian campaigners voted on whether to clothe a copy of the same statue in St. Petersburg
26 years later.
26 years later.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
I mean, with one like that, I would say you can, even though it's fucking stupid because it's a statue, you can kind of see it potentially
Especially,
being a thing.
Yeah.
Gather up the little wiener. You can see that being a thing, but
Too much ween on that.
yeah. If it was like Michelangelo's David statue was struck by
Yeah.
lightning,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
removed the right arm, and then
Yeah,
then
yeah.
that actually happened. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
whoa,
yeah,
there. Can we relax?
Yeah.
But yeah, this one you can kind of see coming. But
Yeah.
they did still call it,
Yeah.
so you can still be like, called that.
I
Yeah.
guess it's more of a commentary on society,
Yeah,
really.
Yeah.
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 Because I don't know about you.
But society shifts a lot. Society
does.
shifts
Yeah.
a lot, and to predict that 30 years or nearly 30 years prior.
I think it's its own one-off.
Yeah.
Coincidence. But the fact that it goes in,
It's amongst
all
21.
You just
Yeah.
you start going. If they got
Hang
some
on a
sort of
minute.
insider or something, something's going on.
Yeah,
Mm.
because there's the theory, and this is where this literally is thinking. The theory is that Matt Groening is a time traveler,
Okay.
and he's gone back in time and created The Simpsons, and then
Ah,
put all this stuff in.
quite like that theory.
Yeah,
It's great for content.
it is.
It really is.
It
Imagine that wealth of just
Yeah.
events that have happened. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm right about that.
Yeah,
I'm right about that.
and
So,
then
yeah.
you get the double of, oh my god, you called it. You get credit for calling
Then
shit.
Then you got the decision: do I come out and say, "Yeah, I'm a fucking alien, bro,"
Yeah.
or do you just play it cool and just make more shit and predict more
What was the
more crazy
guy
events?
who in the early days he predicted there's a book and he predicted a load of stuff and a load.
What's his name? It's like not a Latin name, but like a big one, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's his name? Not Nostradamus, but one like that.
Yeah.
It might have been No, it wasn't Nostradamus.
But there was
Galileo. I can't
there was
remember.
like 7 or 8 things it predicted, and
Yeah.
and it's
I think he predicted Hitler somehow.
yeah predicted but it's funny because this is the modern day version. We've
yeah,
got the guy-
yeah. It's
Like
gone from a
Groening.
philosopher
Yeah.
to the Simpsons.
Yeah, that was my point. Yeah, it's gone from a philosopher to just like a guy who does cartoons.
yeah.
It is Nostradamus.
Oh,
yeah,
it is
it was. Yeah,
Nostradamus.
good call,
Nice.
mate. Yeah, that did ring a bell when you said that.
Fucking
Sorry.
That's some
Dude,
fucking
yeah.
name.
yeah,
It's a cool name.
yeah. Nostradamus.
Yeah,
You'll be
that
lifting
is-
heavy in the gym with that name.
He's lifting fucking like dumbbells for days.
What's this? Ringo Starr.
Left from the Beatles, season 2, episode 18. So these are like early shit.
Yeah.
Early,
Fucking
yeah.
early. Yeah.
Got
So
it.
1991, an episode of The Simpsons saw the Beatles' Ringo Starr diligently answering fan mail that had been written decades ago. In September 2013, two Beatles fans from Essex received a reply from Paul McCartney to a letter and recording they sent to the band 50 years ago. The recording was sent to a London theatre the band was due to play at, but found years later in a car boot sale by a historian. Imagine finding out in a fucking car boot.
What the fuck?
Yeah, in 2013, the BBC's The One Show reunited the pair with the letter, plus a reply from McCartney.
Oh, I see. Sorry. So the letter was sent to the Beatles, but the reply from the Beatles
was
on the car boot.
Yeah.
Right. Wow, it's nice of them to send a recording as well as a letter.
And, I mean, imagine getting that. One, it'd be worth some money as well.
Yeah.
And also about getting it 50 years later.
50 years later. That's crazy.
I mean, if you're going to take it down to the specifics, it wasn't a reply from Ringo Starr.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I didn't want to be pedantic, but I was thinking that.
It's still one of the Beatles.
It's still the Beatles.
Yeah.
In 2013, the BBC's One Show reunited them. I tell you what, I know we on this show have done some random, we'll go from a conspiracy to eating some Japanese snacks, but the One Show take the fucking piss. Like, they're just like, they'll have like, I don't know, David Beckham on, and then they'll have like a bit about how fucking bees are declining. Do you know what I mean? Like, what do you think of this, David?
Yeah.
Like, fucking hell.
They can't bend it like Beckham.
It's fucking they're special.
They have no synergy.
No, whatsoever.
There's topics they won't cover, but there's no like intro or space in between.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do an alien sighting next to how to pot this flower.
Really. Yeah. Oh dear! Shout out to the One Show. Fucking absolute mess.
What's
I remember this episode. This was brilliant.
MLB great Don Mattingly. I don't even know Mattingly.
I think.
I don't really know anything about this one, to be honest. But in a 1992 episode named Homer and the Bat, Mr. Burns recruits Major League Baseball players for his softball team, including the New York Yankees first baseman Don Mattingly. Mr. Burns ends up benching Mattingly for not following the policy he has for the length of the player's sideburns. This actually happened to Yankee captain in real life. What the in 1991?
Right,
yeah, because I'm like reading that because this is the first time I've read this one.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm like, surely they don't have a regulation for the length of sideburns.
Mr. Burns, isn't it?
Yeah, but what I don't know if they're about to allude to.
Oh,
the fact this actually happened.
He actually was.
Yeah. In 1991, the Yankees owner George Steinbrenner fined him $250, and Mattingly was benched for not adhering to the boss's rule on hair length.
Fucking hell! So when the episode aired a year later, everyone thought the Simpsons was spoofing the event, but it turned out
it was already
they'd recorded his lines a month before.
That's insane.
Wow. Unless he did it to link him up.
Maybe.
Mattingly.
I used to love that episode because
leaned into it.
I remembered it, and two, I had a funny thing in the army because in the army your sideburns got to be halfway down your ear, no longer at all. And if they're longer, the punishment is called extras. So you get either 1, 2, or 3, and it means that you have to do it's a night guard. So you work your normal day in the army, but then there's night guard on. So if like a senior person, they'll be like give you extras, like either 1, 2, or 3. And so what I used to do, because I like side ears, but so I'd have them start halfway at my ear, but then I'd angle them down, at an angle, like really slight, but it was an angle, so it would creep down towards the bottom of my ear, and it was like right on the brink, and depending on who would see you. So anyway, I was walking back from dinner, like scoff, and my company sergeant major was walking past, and I was always a bit. So I had my berry on, you could kind of cover him up, and you could just see him. And I was always like fucking cautious because he's the one who can throw out the extras.
Yeah.
Like, I walked past him, and I carried on walking, and then like just as we're walking out, I thought he's fucking got away with it. See me, and then all I heard was mountain free. And I was like, fuck, and that's free extras. So then
shit.
I knew I'd get in trouble for my sergeant when I got back. So I went back to my room and I shaved them down again. But again, I didn't know I shaved them more, but still had a little bit of an angle.
Just lose the angle.
Just shave them off. And then I went back to my sergeant and I went in and he's like, the company sergeant major went past, yeah, you got 3 extras. I was like, yeah. And he's like, looked at them and he was like, yeah, well, I'm giving you another 3 because you haven't sorted them out. So I had 6 extras, mate. I was fucking
what a
gutted.
double down that is.
So what's that, like 6 nights?
So it was 3 weekends. So you do 2
shit.
guard duty, Friday night, Saturday night.
Fuck.
Yeah, so I remember it being 3 weekends, and it was over Christmas as well. So it was fucking.
Man.
And no one's at camp. Everyone gets leave at Christmas, so I had to like stay. I could have. I live. It was North Yorkshire, and I lived on the Isle of Wight. So like, because of the way that I ran, there's no point in me going home. So I just stayed up there over Christmas on my tad, doing these guard duties.
With no one to guard.
With my slightly angled sideys. I don't know. I imagine there's still the same rule in the army now with it, but I don't know if you can get away with stuff. Yeah. But we'd always like push the limits. Like, you're not allowed to like really dye your hair. Your hair's all got to be like the same colour.
Right.
We used to have like highlights back in the under your beret, and then. But like, if it's stupid because you live on the base, so like you're always gonna get caught. So like, obviously under your beret, you're fine, you can hide it. But like as soon as like someone's seen it catches you, they just give you extras. You're like, fucking hell. And then like, so then I got caught. I got 3 extras for that, for my highlights. Yeah. I had them on the weekend, and I went back and I thought, I'll dye it in the evening. And we had PT, and obviously I didn't have anything on my head, so I got caught for that, and he's like 3 extras. So then I went back. I remember I've got a picture somewhere. I have to find it. So I dyed my hair. I got this black dye, but we were going out in the piss. So like I was drinking, and I put all this dye on it, and I was just drinking, and then I just forgot, and it was on there for hours, and then like, I went to get a shower, and I had a big line across my head of purple. I scrubbed it; it was like, all purple. My hair was jet black on the top. Like insane, and
oh my god,
it looked awful. I have got a picture of it, so fun. And then we went out on the piss, and I've got this line across me.
Sake.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
That's my side of the story.
Jesus Christ.
Never back down.
Never back down, mate.
So this next one, I have heard of this happening.
Oh yes,
the Siegfried and Roy tiger attack. Apparently, this is in season 5, episode 10. Simpsons parodied entertainers Siegfried and Roy in a 1993 episode called Springfield, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love Legalized Gambling.
Nice.
That's a great episode name.
Yeah, we wouldn't get that today.
Yeah. During the episode, the magicians are viciously mauled by a trained white tiger while performing in a casino. In 2003, Roy Horn of Siegfried and Roy was attacked during a live performance by, Montecore, one of their white tigers. Roy lived but sustained severe injuries in the attack.
That's 10 years before, because I'm pretty sure before that attack, they were questioned a lot. Like, do you ever fear that they're going to attack you? And they're just like, they're so well trained, and we grew up with them that they would never, ever, ever hurt us. And then obviously, got fucking mauled.
It always happens, don't it?
Yeah. I mean, it is the risk with animals that have the potential to maul you. The same thing with people who kept fucking chimps.
Yeah.
Oh, chimps are fucking...
Literally just rip you apart.
I did a video on a chimp once, and...
So one and done?
Man, I mean, view it right. Listeners' discretion is advised, and I genuinely mean this. Pause for the next... Or mute it for the next 15 seconds if you're of a nervous disposition. But this woman had her face ripped off.
Yeah, I've seen the documentary.
By a fucking chimp.
Yeah.
They are...
Savage.
I mean, I know...
Was it one that was obviously like they classed as a pet?
Was it a friend's chimp or a neighbour's chimp?
She came down, didn't she? Had it. It was like some sort of teddy or something.
Yeah,
and she
just
waved it, and it fucking. But that did it. I don't know if it's her, but I know that they've ripped people's arms off. I'm pretty sure that they savaged.
And apparently, and this I've learned this from the Joe Rogan podcast because he loves talking about like, would you rather be in a phone box with a fucking lion or a chimp?
Yeah.
Apparently, like I don't know if it's baboons. There's a certain type of monkey, ape, whatever the fuck they are, that will actually target your genitals. So if that attacked, it would go straight for, because they just kind of know, I guess it's a vulnerable point. And they go for like the throat, the genitals, like they're programmed. They're fucking vicious. And apparently like their muscular structure and their twitch fibers and all the sort of shit in that, like they can just keep going and get like running and going and swinging and like climbing trees. Just they don't really exhaust. Which is fucking scary.
They're power, aren't they? They're just pure muscle. They can actually, they could, if they want to, they can rip your arm off your sock, which is incredible.
I mean, it's not an experience I want to go through.
No,
it is a spectacle.
Scary stuff. So
honestly,
chimps, you need to be fucking careful of.
Even like people with fucking snakes, I'm like they're going like, okay, well, if it gets out of the cage or the wherever it's a vivarium, whatever you fucking call it, you might be fucked.
Yeah.
And that's just with a snake.
No, two people to own snakes. Both snakes escaped. And they never saw them again.
Oh,
so
really?
they're just somewhere. Somewhere.
Oh,
you know,
I'm not a fan of. We had a little one. And he used to bite. Bite you. So
what snake?
Yeah, it wasn't venomous, but it just like you'd go in to like feed it and it would just bite you, that just popped me off.
Yeah, I once in my past life I was seeing a female went round her house. She had a pet tarantula. Didn't go back.
No,
because I just thought if this goes somewhere, and then I'm round here and that fucking escapes. No, son. No, thank you. No. So yeah,
you're not a fan of spiders.
No, I'm not. I'm really not. I don't care to, admit it. Just don't like them. It's got 8 legs, and they're hairy. It just makes no sense.
The more legs you have, the more of a threat you are.
It's got legs and then fangs.
True.
And the fangs are the length of the leg.
Imagine the amount of fangs as it has legs.
That's it. Oh, Lozzie. Do whenever the horse meat scan, I just always think of you.
That's because
you were working Tesco, weren't you? You were in the trenches.
Glorious fucking time that was.
You were in the trenches when this came out.
Honestly, that's when you find out how funny people actually are. And spoiler alert, they're fucking not funny. Right? Right. Because there'll be people just like picking up products. We had this, obviously, there was like a couple of lasagnas or something that found horse meat in there.
Yeah.
And then literally any item they'd pick up and go, oh, don't know if it's got horse meat in it. So, no, mate.
You got the cheese.
It's a fucking carrot, you knobhead. But I had one guy. I was on dairy, so obviously I'm quite close to the firing range.
The meat aisle's the next one along.
Yeah. So this guy was stacking milk, right? This guy come up to me and better not be horse milk. And I was like, I think you're safe, mate. I think you're safe.
Fuck off, mate. Just fuck off.
Yeah, but that was a weird time.
Yeah, I mean, it was a scandal because obviously we don't eat horse in this country. But horse meat, I think per square inch for protein, there's nothing like it. It's like that and elk. And then other than that, like chicken's got fuck all on horse meat for protein.
France.
In France they eat it.
People eat a lot quite a bit. Well, obviously your ancestors.
That's it, mate. 100%.
Yeah, the horse runs in the family.
And I love lasagna. There you go. It's the link.
But the thing that got me was the pure outrage.
Yeah.
It's like, as if you put fucking horse in a lasagna.
Yeah.
I mean, as a purist, I don't fucking put horse in a lasagna. But I'd still eat horse.
Yeah.
I mean,
no animal is off limits.
Yeah. A horse is really just like an athletic cow.
I've never thought of it like
true.
that.
I mean,
if you the
horse is just an
horse
athletic
people
cow.
will probably have a go at me, but I've seen cows the
old equestrians.
Cows jump
Scary
around
people.
and skip and can be happy and that, can't they?
It's
It's
they
just
can race.
It's an evolved athletic cow.
That's amazing. I've never.
No, I've never thought
I can
that
see
yet,
it.
to be
I
honest.
can fucking see it. But that was. That was something, wasn't it? That horse meat scandal. So they predicted it in 1994.
Oh.
I even remember the brand of lasagna.
What was it?
Findus.
Findus. Yes, it was.
Yeah, that was
Did
like the big one.
they dead now, Findus?
Surely,
I don't know.
right?
Or maybe they've invested quite a lot in horse meat.
Or maybe they just branched out into France.
True.
Findus is almost like find us.
Yeah.
Conspiracy.
Find us. Yeah, in the 1994 Lunch Lady Doris, I'm assuming that meant a episode from 1994.
Yeah.
Lunch Lady Doris used assorted horse parts to make lunch for students at Springfield Elementary.
With
9
more
years
testicles.
Lovely. 9 years later, the Food Safety Authority of Ireland found horse DNA in over 1/3 of beef burger samples from supermarkets and ready meals, and pig in 85% of them.
Nice.
So
So there must have been. There was another one because another horse meat scandal because that was like what 2013, 2012, 2013.
Yeah, I feel like there's been a couple.
I mean, like
And
the
then pesky
amount
horses keep turning up.
Yeah, the amount of fucking meat that must get fucking just mashed together, and we don't even know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's interesting though. Obviously, we've known it here, but there must have been some in America, some horse meat scandals over there as well.
Yeah.
I don't really know what Americans think about it.
Yeah,
If you are American and you watch this,
let
what
us
do you
know.
think about horse meat?
Yeah.
I'd eat it.
Yeah.
If it tasted alright, I'd eat it.
I
think a lot.
Any meat a try.
I think. I think.
I don't reckon it tastes alright. You know.
Yeah.
Probably tastes alright. Yeah, probably
Tastes
tastes pretty good. I never had a finless lasagna, so I wouldn't know. If they are still going, I've got 100% respect for your company.
That's it. To persevere.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
This next one is about how devices with autocorrect or predict our speech.
Right.
What was it, Ben? Season 6, episode 8. School bullies, Kearney and Dolph, take a memo to beat up Martin on a Newton device in an episode of The Simpsons that aired in 1994. The memo gets quickly translated to eat up Martha, an early foreshadowing of autocorrect frustrations. The Simpsons was lampooning Apple's underwhelming Newton device, which I had no fucking idea this existed, right, at one time. The iPhone's ancient ancestor that had just been released and included shoddy handwriting recognition. Nitin Ganatra, former director of engineering iOS applications at Apple, told Fast Company that this particular moment on The Simpsons served as an inspiration to get the iPhone keyboard right. So they basically predicted the fact that we'd have frustrations with a technology that hadn't actually been invented yet.
That's quite. It's one thing to predict a technology. It's another thing to predict
it going wrong.
Frustration with a technology.
And pretty spot on as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Autocorrect's a bane in my life.
That's a bane a lot.
Smartwatches.
Oh,
You've got to love it.
interesting.
Right. So, it's season 6, episode 19. The Simpsons introduced the idea of a watch you could use as a phone in an episode aired in 1995, nearly 20 years before the Apple Watch was released. You got to think back in 1995, right? Phones were like fucking chunky boys back then. Like, I remember like the Nokia was 3310. I don't even know if that was out then, but that was substantial.
That's the late 90s, I think.
Yeah.
I remember watches at that time were going through a bit of an innovation period because there's all sorts of watches coming out. You know, like calculator and like ones you could like. Yeah, I think there might have even been walkie-talkie ones as well. Yeah, there's some like quite.
Bring them back.
There's some cool ones. Some really cool, really cool old school watches. Some Transformer watches.
Nice.
Yeah.
They're obviously trying to keep up with the ever-changing mobile. What am I trying to say? Movement. I don't know.
Movement, yeah. But yes, that's still insane.
But yeah, that's
no way.
Yeah, this one I don't actually buy into that much because I'll just read it and then we can go into it. The invention of the shard is what this one's about, Season 6, Episode 19. The Lisa's Wedding episode from 1995 came with a lot of unexpected predictions. During Lisa's trip to London, we see a skyscraper behind the Tower Bridge that eerily looks similar to the shard, and it's even in the right location. Construction on the building started in 2009, 14 years later. So for this, that could literally just be anything.
Yeah, but it's in the same location.
And it is
similar shape.
It is similar shape.
I think that one's mental.
Yeah.
See, the thing about it is that
and
it's the same shape, but it's just a fucking triangle, right? And it's vaguely in the same position of where it probably would be in.
But
in
why,
reality.
if you're going to the extent of drawing the Tower Bridge and stuff, why bother with another building that wasn't there?
I don't know. Maybe they just drew it in as I don't know what was
Time
there
travel.
beforehand. To be honest,
it's a big Ben's gone digital.
Yeah,
Did have an upgrade, didn't it?
It did.
I don't think it went digital though.
nah, not a digital clock face.
No,
That'd be quite cool though.
Yeah,
I'd like that. I'd like that a lot.
I mean, we'd be bringing a clock into what, the 90s. It's had an update. I mean, it's 30 years too late.
That's weird.
That's weird.
I mean,
is weird.
they're slightly different perspectives, but I see it. I see it, but also at the same time, I'm like, there's literally a building next to it on the image at the top.
If they'd have done the eye, the London Eye, whatever,
Yeah.
that'd have been cool.
That would have been very, very suspicious.
Need more proof, Matt, so
Yeah.
get on it.
Come on, mate.
Robotic Librarians, Season 6, Episode 19. A lot of...
They got a lot early, didn't they?
Yeah.
They got a lot
A
early.
lot of early predictions here. Again,
the
from
same
the same
episode.
episode. In Lisa's Wedding, we discover that librarians have been replaced with robots in the Simpsons universe. More than 20 years later, robotics students from the University of... What the fuck does that say?
Aberystwyth.
Aberystwyth built a prototype for a walking library robot, while scientists in Singapore have begun testing their own robot librarians.
Why specifically librarians?
Yeah,
Like,
so-
it's
well,
a strange
thinking,
area
yeah.
for that technology.
Yeah.
I guess like the interactions you have with a librarian, I would
It's quite
imagine.
robotic.
Yeah. Have you
Any
got this book?
librarians out
Is
there?
this book in here, or where's the crime section? Nobody's like,
Yeah, I suppose
do
it's
it.
very, it's very database. You don't need a robot, do you? You need a button you can press
Yeah.
and go, where is this?
And then it'll show
you.
you.
Don't need a full-on robot.
Yeah.
killing conversation.
But it's weird
across
that,
the
like,
world.
because I would think, like, of all places to put, personally, I think of all places to put a robot, a library is a bit odd. But then the fact that the Simpsons not only thought about robots, but thought to put it in that specific place as well.
Yeah,
It's like specific on specific.
yeah.
Telling you, Matt Groening's a fucking time traveller.
If you're watching Matt from whatever period of time you're in, comment. That's it. That's all we ask. Like, share, and subscribe. Everyone else. You know what I mean?
Higgs boson.
The discovery of Higgs boson
Oh
equation.
fuck yeah! That is actually correct, isn't it? On the blackboard.
Yeah. Which is insane. I'll read it.
This I think this was the one where they're like, oh, he's a time traveller then. Like, there's no way that he could have
One-hando.
accidentally fucking put that on there.
Yeah. So in season 8, episode 1,
Oh man.
1998 episode called "The Wizard of Evergreen Terrace," Homer Simpson becomes an inventor and is shown in front of a complicated equation on a blackboard. According to Simon Singh, the author of Simpsons and Their Mathematical Secrets, the fact there's a fucking book or whatever media that is,
That's fucking crazy.
is insane. The equation predicts the mass of Higgs boson particle. It was first predicted in 1964 by Professor Peter Higgs and 5 other physicists, but it wasn't until 2013 that scientists discovered proof of the Higgs boson in a £10.4 billion experiment, which I believe was the Hadron Collider. Was that
Right.
not, was that not the around the sort of time?
No, the Hadron Collider was switched on in 2009.
Oh, right, okay.
Because I remember being in year 10 and everyone thought that the world was going to end.
Yes.
Yeah,
Those
that was a
beautiful
dark
times.
day.
Beautiful times.
So hang on, let me just get my head around this. So the equation, it was first predicted in 1964. So in 1964, was that equation written? I.e., have they just copied it, or is that the can you scroll up, Ben? Is that the answer to the equation?
It was discovered in 2011. The Higgs boson particle. That's not the exact version of it. It's close, basically.
But close enough to be weird, right?
Yeah.
I wonder what the equation was pre that.
Yeah.
It's even, like I say, to even put anything like that up.
It's very specific, isn't it?
Yeah, that is even similar to
They've got an omega symbol.
Something that works.
That's fucking mad.
Well, he's got an omega symbol in it. It means there's some time travel involved.
I mean, look, there's equations to the power of 12.
Yeah.
It's a lot of numbers.
Yeah. To be fair, they've all got 12 on them, so you can cancel all them out. But
There you go. Master of Dan.
That's it. I don't have a fucking clue what you just said.
But it's just crazy. I think this is the one that really they were starting to pay attention to what the Simpsons were doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, wouldn't it be great? Like, it's such a great way to do it, to get your most fucking brain dead character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To figure out something like this.
Yeah. That's spooky. That's very spooky. What's the next one? What we got?
Well, should we go to a break? Cause we're
all right. Let's pull it to a little break, and then we'll come back.
Shake it.
Oh, I thought you were going to do the break.
Oh, right. I'll do the break. So if everyone wants to go for a break, we'll come back and we'll continue going through these.
Shit is like...
Or should we just leave it there?
Yeah, that's fine.
We're back.
We are back with more Simpsons. Oh, God, my mic's fallen down. With
That's
more
it.
Simpsons. Ebola! Here we go.
That's it.
The
Season
book.
9, episode 3.
The curious case of Curious George and the Ebola outbreak virus.
That's it. Some people maintain that The Simpsons predicted the 2014 outbreak of Ebola. God, such a distant memory now. Good old Ebola.
Yeah.
17 years before it happened, in a scene from the episode Lisa's Sax, Marge suggests a sick Bart read a book titled Curious George and the Ebola Virus. The virus wasn't particularly widespread in the 1990s, but years later it was top of the news agenda. Ebola was first discovered in 1976, and through this latest outbreak has been the worst yet. It killed 254 people in the Democratic Republic of Congo in 1995 and 224 people in Uganda in 2000. So
it was on the radar.
I mean,
It was just
was
a
on
bit
the radar.
obscure.
Yeah.
So I feel like this one is more of they've picked an
It's a
obscure
nod to-
at
Yeah,
the
it's a
time.
nod, yeah.
And plus, I wouldn't really say it's a prediction because
Yeah, no.
she
It
just
had-
told him
they've
to
just
read a
literally-
book with the word Ebola on it.
Yeah.
But other
But you
people
got to
can
fill
read
up
into
the
it.
article.
That's it.
You know.
Whoever wrote this, God bless.
That's it.
What's the next one?
What we got next?
Where are we going?
26.
This one's weird.
Oh.
I mean, it's feasible, obviously, if you look at it at some point, but the fact this actually happened, I'm still surprised it did happen.
Oh, Disney buying
Yeah.
20th Century Fox.
Right.
Yeah, so in season 10, episode 5, in the episode When You Dish Upon a Star, the originally aired episode in 1998, Ron Howard and Brian Grazer produce a script, Homer Pictures. The script is being produced at 20th Century Fox, and a sign in front of the studio's headquarters reveals that it is a division of Walt Disney Co. On December the 14th, 2017 rather, Disney purchased 21st Century Fox for an estimated $52.4 billion, acquiring Fox's film studio, 20th Century Fox. In addition to a bulk of its television production assets, the media conglomerate also has access to popular entertainment properties like X-Men, Avatar, and The Simpsons.
Interesting.
So
That's weird.
yeah.
So The Simpsons was owned
by
by
21st
20th
Yeah.
Century
And they
at the
put that
time,
in.
and they
Yeah.
put that in there, which would have been like a big competitor.
Mm.
I wonder if they like, because some things go on talks and discussions, for years. They might have said, but I guess it depends how big Disney were.
How big
back
Disney
then.
were then?
But like Disney buy up everything. They bought
fucking
Star
hell, they
Wars,
probably own everything soon.
Yeah. Disney and Coke.
Well,
Yeah.
Pixar, didn't you, back then? So that was huge.
Yeah.
Pixar's bought by Disney, isn't it? Now?
Yeah.
But it was Disney originally, was it not?
It was like, I don't know if it was owned by Disney, but they were like in partnership. But then they officially owned.
Yeah, didn't it come
Pixar.
from Steve Jobs? Pixar, was that?
I think he's somewhere in their story. Somewhere.
Sorry, he didn't. In fact, he joined with them. I remember.
Oh, right.
Because they used his don't know, because it's too far off tangent, but he made, after he left Apple, he made a box, didn't he? This and they kind of used that to do Pixar.
Yeah, I
and he
know.
got involved with
right.
Pixar.
Disney was founded in 1923.
Yeah, by Walt Disney, who is frozen in a cryogenic chamber somewhere. I think he will be reborn.
You're getting conspiracies within
conspiracies.
conspiracies.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's it. That's why they invented. That's
Yeah.
why they created Frozen, so that when you type in Walt Disney Frozen, the movie comes up and not the fact that Walt Disney is frozen.
It was also co-founded by someone called Roy O. Disney. I assume his brother or his dad. So it wasn't just Walt.
Roy.
We don't hear about him though,
No,
because he
don't.
didn't get in the cryo chamber.
Yeah,
That's it.
not as cool as Walt, is it? Walt.
No.
Yeah.
Walt.
Roy O. Disney just
Roy.
Older brother.
Royale. Fucking
Royale.
Royale with cheese.
That's it. Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be nice. What we got?
This is where I start to go, okay, something's fucked up here. Right? Because it's so fucking weird. The invention of the tobacco plant, season 11, episode 5. In 1999, Homer uses nuclear energy to create a hybrid of a tomato and tobacco plant, the tobacco.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
This inspired US Simpsons fan Rob Bauer to create his own plant. In 2003, Bauer grafted together a tobacco root and a tomato stem to make tobacco. Writers for The Simpsons were so impressed that they invited Bauer and his family to their offices and ate tobacco fruit themselves.
I mean,
But
he's done it because he was inspired by the Simpsons.
Yeah.
But the thing is, how
How did they know that it was possible?
So they could just not even fucking give a shit if it was possible, I guess. But the fact that they've
I get you.
The fact that they've created it and got that's a legit plant that could actually feasibly be created.
And it has gone on to be created, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit spooky.
Now, obviously, we're getting to the meat. This one. This is the one I'm assuming you're alluding to before.
Yeah. I don't know how many they did on it.
Yeah, I don't know either, to be honest. All I know really about this one is that they predicted that he was going to be president, or depicted him as president in this.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a still by still, isn't there? And
it's
like, and it breaks it all down.
Yeah,
it's
fucking mental.
Yeah, Donald Trump as president, season 11, episode 17.
In the year 2000. Fucking hell.
So when did he? Was it
2016?
2016.
Yeah.
So 16 years earlier, in a 2000 episode, Bart to the Future, the show goes next level on its prediction talents when it name drops Donald Trump as having been president of the United States. The episode explores what Bart's life would be like when he got older. It features Lisa being president while in the Oval Office. We hear her say, as you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. In 2017, Trump became the 45th president of the United States.
That's fucking insane.
It's one of the ones where you're like,
I watched a documentary on the life of Donald Trump through all the decades, and I know that in the 2000s he did run for like an independent party,
right? Okay.
But I don't know if it was as early as 2000. But there may have been whispers that it's something he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Right, which is okay, fair enough. If it's whispers and then they throw it in as a joke and then he eventually does it, I get that. But, and I'm sure it's on here, the fucking escalator with Donald Trump.
Oh yeah,
is that on here?
I don't know. I don't think it's on this particular article. But I know what
Oh
image you're
my
talking about.
god!
We could maybe get Ben to pull it up on YouTube and then just put a link.
Yeah,
because I remember that.
That's
really
insane. Because basically, Donald Trump is going down an escalator waving, right? And it's like, okay, he's going down an escalator waving with lots of people around him as president, all right? And there's a woman that's holding like a poster, and she drops it against a glass like barrier, see-through glass barrier, onto the floor, and it's like a mirror image of what happens where he's going down the escalator waving to people, and this woman drops this piece of paper at the exact same time it happens in The Simpsons, and it's just like, what the fuck? How on earth could they have predicted that?
Can you get
to
that
that
link, Ben?
finer degree?
Yeah, so I vaguely remember it, but I want to see it again because I remember watching it and being like, shit.
Yeah.
Because
Now I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
to
please
draw
tell me
that,
it was behind. If they're like, it actually come out like a year.
No,
after.
no, it was.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, it was behind. Yeah.
Fucking
'Cause
so
it is-
strange.
And the only other explanation is
go.
like that Trump
Just have it
set
muted,
that up.
Ben. We can have it playing if it's muted. That's fine. Yeah, so here he comes, right? So he's now coming down the escalator with Melania. And that piece of paper there, whoop, drops, right? Very, very strange. And whoop! Where's the paper? Ready? Whoop! Drops. What the fuck?
The only thing I can think,
Whoop! If it's done on purpose.
because it's so bright and so yellow that Trump, clever, just was like, oh, I've watched that episode. Let's recreate that. That's
yeah.
That's my only kind of like feasible explanation because it's like
It's so on the nose.
It's so on
isn't
the
it?
nose.
Whoop!
Yeah.
And the fact, and if you look at that, it's so bright yellow. It's like it draws your attention in. It's like mid-screen, and it's like as Trump just geniusly gone.
Or is the woman this? But then she'd have to have got to herself in that
Got to the
position.
front,
but
yeah.
such a super fan
Yeah, of the Simpsons.
that
and
they've done that.
But-
But if it's not,
That is weird though.
but it's so strange,
weird.
man.
So- it was
the
so-
dropping of the paper.
Even in the like it's
Have
because everything you do animated, right? It's pushing more work on the animator and takes more time.
Yeah.
So they
It's
would have made the
intentional.
conscious decision
to
go,
do that. There's
Make
it's
that
done
person
for a
in that
specific
drop that.
reason.
They might have it might be an inside joke. I don't know. But
That's so weird.
it
I
is
wonder if
weird.
anyone's ever
That's so
looked in, like tried to investigate that and find that woman and just
Yeah.
be like, because it is so on point.
Yeah.
that, like you can't even argue that
No.
that's a coincidence.
No,
Um.
that is done specifically for that reason. It has to be.
Yeah.
Has to be.
the
You're
chances
absolutely
that
right.
it isn't is very, very
Oh, like
slim.
it's trillions.
That's scary.
trillions to one.
That's scary. Pot legal in Canada.
That's it. Bring it. Let's go. Season 16, episode 6. In the 2005 episode titled Midnight RX, I don't know if that's maybe Rex, I don't know. Ned travels to Canada with Homer, Grandpa, Simpson, and Apu, and discovers that pot is legal in the country. In 2018, Canada legalized recreational use of marijuana. I guess this
Inevitability, maybe.
one... yeah, I was going to say, like, the more people
It surprised me it's
accept
not legal in this country. It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So strange.
I mean, at least for... I don't even know what the sort of rules are on medical use of marijuana. But, yeah, it is weird that it seems to be happening in quite a lot of other places. But here,
but not
it's
here.
almost like not even talked about.
Yeah.
It's not. It's like, no, we don't even talk about it here.
Yeah, and like I don't smoke weed, and I wouldn't smoke weed if it was legal. It's just, to me, it just blows my mind that it's just not a thing here. But yeah, I think this one's more of an inevitability.
Yeah, you can
know.
see, you can like imagine that being back in 2005 or probably 2004 when they actually made it or written the episode. That you probably had like a large amount of people, even back then, probably saying it should be
petitioning
legalized.
for sure.
So that is, I think you could put that one down to
Yeah,
being just inevitable.
yeah,
What's interesting about these as well is that a lot of them I don't know if it's doing it in chronological order, but a lot of them like quite early. So I don't feel like they were playing into the whole, let's drop this in because it's because I don't think they even knew that it was a thing then. If they were doing it now, I'd be like, oh yeah, I get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because also, like, what was that? 2005. Like, I mean, yes, obviously the internet was about, but it wasn't really like
scale.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, this next one, faulty voting machine.
And also, to say that they're not in on it at this point either. Yes, there were lots of predictions in the 90s and early 2000s, but they hadn't come to fruition yet either.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so
exactly.
This one's from season 20, episode 4. That's in 2008, so they're on season 20 in 2008.
They're on 32 now.
32.
Fuck,
they slowed down a bit.
Yeah.
28.
Jeez, 32 series.
That's crazy.
Fucking hell.
Mental.
In 2008, The Simpsons showed Homer trying to vote for Barack Obama in the US general election, but a faulty machine changed his vote. 4 years later, a voting machine in Pennsylvania had to be removed after it kept changing people's votes for Barack Obama to ones for his Republican rival Mitt Romney.
There we go.
There you go. Is the thing like that gets me with this one is whenever you have things like a voting machine or a computer or anything like that, it's always open to manipulation.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that everyone like seems to say, but no one actually takes action on.
Yeah.
So I know it's probably easier than manually reviewing someone's written testament.
Yeah.
But
plus, you'd think a machine. Yes, it's open to manipulation, but also a machine takes out human error of counting. I can't imagine being them people that just sit there and count the votes.
Yeah.
One of them jobs.
And as well, like, what if you're like, you're a counter, but you're also in favour of that? You're like,
put a few votes.
A couple more votes on there.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, but to predict it happening in that specific election is weird.
Yeah.
The US beat Sweden in curling at the Olympic Games. Now, I don't know. I didn't even know Americans did curling, to be honest.
They try a bit of everything, don't they?
I think it's the sport where you got them fucking people that brush the ice.
Yeah, mate, curling's the bollocks.
Season 21, episode 12. So, in one of the biggest upsets at the 2018 Winter Olympics, the US curling team won gold over the favourite Sweden. This historical win was predicted in a 2010 episode of The Simpsons called Boy Meets Curl.
Oh, nice.
In the episode, Marge and Homer Simpson compete in curling at the Vancouver Olympics and beat Sweden. In real life, the US men's Olympic curling team won a gold medal after defeating Sweden even though they were behind, which is exactly how it played out on The Simpsons. The victory is the second curling medal ever for the United States, not including Marge and Homer's, of course.
Nice.
Lol.
Very strange. Very weird to pick that specific country.
Specific, like...
even the sport.
Yeah, it's weird to pick the sport. It's weird to pick the Winter Olympics.
It feels almost like
Sweden.
The things that they're picked, it's almost like... there's no other explanation for this.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how many sports are there? How many different things could you do?
Innit?
And it's like...
I'd say there's not many sports where Sweden and the US are like rivals.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah, very strange one, that. Very strange.
But it's some of them I see as like, oh, that's like a bit of coincidence. But that one,
that one's
some of them you start
weird.
to think, okay, well, something's going on.
Yeah. Because just the independent variables in them is just a bit weird. What we got here?
Nobel Prize winner, season 22, episode 1. So, the MIT professor Bengt Holmstrom, that's what I'm going to say, and that's what I'm sticking with, won the Nobel Prize in Economics in 2016, 6 years after he was bet on to win the Nobel Prize on The Simpsons. Holmstrom name appears on the betting scorecard when Mark and Lisa Database and Milhouse bet on Nobel Prize winners.
Okay.
I'm guessing he was around and doing
he was
shit.
obviously in the frame.
It's a bit of a random name to put.
I don't
out there.
even really know what the Nobel Prize is.
No,
I've heard of the Peace Prize, but is that the same thing?
they're just prizes in science and stuff, aren't
Yeah,
they? Like
yeah.
big accolade or big
Yeah.
achievements in science, things like that. But yeah, he was obviously around, but still, these are all a bit odd. What's this one?
Lady Gaga's Super Bowl halftime show, season 23, episode 22. We're going to get a bit deeper into the Simpsons universe now in terms of time.
Right.
In 2012, Lady Gaga performed for the town of Springfield, hanging in midair. 5 years later, she flew off the Houston NRG Stadium roof in real life to perform her Super Bowl halftime show.
Okay.
That one, I'm like,
Not too bad.
Yeah, I mean,
But
she was around.
she was
in
a big
2012.
star, wasn't she?
Yeah.
As
So
well,
the
like,
chances-
imagine if, like, for me, if I was all of a sudden famous, and the Simpsons had done something about me,
Yeah.
I'd like push
Yeah.
to try and do it.
To
'cause
see-
it's just cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like a
No,
little
that is very true. Could have been pre-planned.
could have been, because we all know Matt Groening is a time traveller now.
Well,
Yeah.
It's
this is
been
it.
confirmed.
Yeah, it's been confirmed.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, we'll do this one, and then we'll go to a couple of like examples of movies and TV shows getting stuff
okay,
right
cool,
and wrong
cool.
in predictions.
Okay.
Daenerys Targaryen's big plot twist in Game of Thrones, season 29, episode 1. That is Simpsons, not Game of Thrones, because fuck me if it got
Right.
to fucking what the writing was like at season 8. I can't imagine what the writing was going to be like in season 29. On the penultimate episode of Game of Thrones, Daenerys Targaryen shocked fans when she and her dragon laid waste to an already surrendered King's Landing, obliterating
Absolute
thousands of innocent people.
Shite.
Literally contradicted her and
Entire character arc.
but
Really?
fuck
In one
it, in one
episode.
episode. Not even that, probably 20 minutes.
She was literally all about liberating women and children, and she just massacred them
That's
in
it.
the second to last episode.
In 2017, on season 29 episode of The Simpsons titled The
Surfsons.
Surfsons, which spoofed various aspects of Game of Thrones, including a three-eyed raven and the Night King, Homer receives a dragon that revives a dragon that proceeds to incinerate a village.
I kind of want to
that's
watch
quite
that.
funny, but-
Yeah. I'm gonna have to get my kids to watch The Simpsons
Yeah.
because it's like
That's
I'll
weird though.
also enjoy
How obviously that's in the same year, but it was released. Unless it's released in the same year. Was there a
Some
showrunner on
Yeah.
Game
Yeah.
of Thrones who was like, look, they're gonna
Yeah.
fucking do this?
Yeah.
But-
I mean,
There were some very, very weird ones, but I feel like the weirdest of them all, the escalator, they didn't actually put on there.
yeah.
Disappointing.
Yeah.
Not in the article, but
the
the fact
entire
that they
pod is just disappointment.
didn't. No, because we went over it ourselves.
That's it.
The escalator one was good. I mean,
Yeah.
they were all good as
Yeah,
well.
there were some really
let's
weird
be
ones.
honest, we peaked
top-
at Findus.
We picked at Findus was very true.
They made the crispy pancakes, those ones, the
Nice.
frozen ones.
Oof, spicy.
Okay, so have a look at some TV and film predictions that went well
Cool,
and
this would be
some
cool.
that didn't go so well.
Yeah.
The first one I've got here is, and I'm reading from a phone, so fuck you. 2001 Space Odyssey.
Yes.
This is a film I don't actually think I've watched all the way through because it is fucking long.
Yeah.
But the film's brilliant at like the visual effects and stuff they do and the practical effects they do. But Stanley Kubrick famously took steps to ensure the film from technological advances that may have surpassed his own in the film. Which, like, how do you even fucking do that?
Yeah.
How do you go, I want to ensure my film stays technologically relevant compared to society when it comes
Not
out?
knowing what society's
Yeah.
going to do.
Oh shit!
Crazy.
So, yeah,
That's
that's
fucking
like a minute to
crazy.
sink
Yeah,
in.
it's
'Cause it was-
crazy.
when was it filmed?
I can't even remember. So it would have
70s,
been-
80s?
Yeah,
Yeah.
60s,
Yeah.
70s.
And it's set in 2001, isn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah. From memory with the film, it's like
So he
It's a
wanted
long
to
one.
make sure that in 2001, whatever he had in there was more advanced than what would be there,
yeah.
or
I
at
think,
least on par.
Yeah, I think like at least like the ideas
Yeah.
or what he had as a base were like on par at least with what was going on
Yeah.
or what was being talked about. Because what was it? Oh, quite a while ago that I was talking to. Just going off tangent slightly. There's an electrician in my extended family who I was speaking to, and he was at a old RAF base, and he was saying he is now ripping all the electrics out of there, and they're redeveloping it into something else. But they had fibre optic cables for a World War II RAF base.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's only come in to general population use within the last 20 years.
And it's been there for fucking
And it's been there
since
for
the
all that
40s.
time. And he's
That,
like,
I mean, that
Yeah.
you got to think what they got.
yeah.
Innit? Because it's like, well, they obviously all the computers and stuff, obviously they used to fill rooms, but they had them before it was financially viable to get them into the general population.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy.
Fibre optics.
What they would have been developing even in the 60s, he's still got to think like, shit.
But you're thinking, if he's ripping out fibre optics now, what's he replacing it with?
Yeah.
Well, that's if they're doing
Fibre
it.
optics.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
places.
actually... I think it's just an abandoned like RAF base now. I don't think they're actually rebuilding anything. Ministry of Defence.
Might have to go back to the one I've been to, rather than doing a
Pick it
ghost
up.
exploration,
Get
just
some
fucking
copper, mate.
strip some copper,
Yeah.
get some lead.
Yeah.
Get us a bit of lead, mate. So
Mad.
he may have inadvertently predicted the effects of prolonged microgravity on the brain in the film. Right. So in the film, a rotating set was used to mimic the look and feel of microgravity in which the character moves around in. A study conducted on astronauts in 2020 showed that prolonged exposure to microgravity could cause swelling in the brain. Dr. Larry Kramer, who headed the study, said countermeasures being tested to remedy microgravity's effects on the brain included spinning an astronaut around for a certain portion of the day, just moving the blood through the body and back towards the legs. Now, the reason that people are saying he may have inadvertently predicted that is because in the specific scene that they're kind of referencing where the astronaut's turning around, they used a revolving set in which he was moving whilst the set was turning.
Yeah.
So they were getting him to do exercise in a revolving set that would mimic the effects that would have been on him if he had actually been there.
That's
And
incredible.
then years later, they see obviously that there's some swelling attributed towards the effects of microgravity, and then they're using the same techniques to try and counter that effect that they did in the film.
That's
years
fucking
before.
Crazy the
Yeah,
fact that
that
he
is.
thought of that. I mean, it makes sense in the sense that obviously if there's no gravity and everything goes up, then your blood would go up to the brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you rotate, sort of. So you rotate to bring it back down and around the body. But the fact that he put that in the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if he didn't think like, oh, this might be a problem in the future, it's like still fucking weird.
Yeah. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Mm.
Stanley Kubrick, he's a fucking maestro.
Is he
of
the
course.
one that directed The Shining?
Yes.
And
Oh.
and the little boy in The Shining is wearing an Apollo 13 shirt or whatever, a jumper.
so, yeah,
And
yeah.
because there's
Nice.
also the theory that Stanley Kubrick directed
Yes.
the fake moon landing.
Which is another
and he
link
confessed
into this.
in the, oh, is it?
Yeah,
He
because
confessed in The Shining
Yeah,
through
'cause
visuals.
there a lot
Really
of
fucking
conspiracy
cool.
theorists link
That's
the fact
interesting. Yeah.
that he had such good knowledge
He had
of
such
this
yeah.
and that he would be a brilliant candidate to film the potential faking of
course.
the moon landing.
So if he's that knowledgeable that
Yeah.
there'd be micro swelling, he'd probably know how
So,
to bounce on the moon.
Yeah.
so that
it's all
was
connected.
that was a good example of
Yeah,
how.
fucking hell.
But this next one's bad.
Oh.
2012, the film
Oh yeah,
Okay.
the world ended, didn't
was based on a long-standing myth that the Mayan calendar ended with the year
it?
2012,
Scary though.
and it didn't. So that was a bad prediction on that.
Yeah.
path. Not
And in that movie, goodness, did it end?
Yes, sure, mate. All I remember from that film is an elephant being suspended mid-air towards the end to save it.
To say, I can't
Yeah,
remember
because
the end.
I think they did like a kind of turn on Noah's Ark
Right.
where they started trying to save shit.
Yes.
And I just remember it was either an elephant or a very similar creature to an elephant just suspended in mid-air, just like fucking being carried away. That's all I remember.
Nice.
Sorry,
can't
John
remember the
Cusack.
film. It wasn't-
John Cusack.
Wasn't a great film, was it?
Nah, it was just one of them like shitty disaster movies.
Yeah.
But
This
Yeah.
next one is weird.
Right.
From I Am Legend.
Oh, yeah, I think I know what you're about to say.
This one is where it's weird because it's such a weird thing in the background.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
I Am Legend was made in 2007.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So obviously, it involves Will Smith. The film's Will Smith. He's in, or they show a scene where it's like a post-apocalyptic New York, I think it is, and then in the background, in the scene, there's a poster for Batman vs Superman, which came out in 2017. So it predicted the film coming out 10 years
later.
beforehand.
And I think the Batman logo is very similar as well.
I didn't really take that into account.
Yeah, but yeah, it is a bit weird. Yeah.
Okay.
Boom.
That's interesting.
Yeah, with
Oh,
the,
so
with
they
the Superman
did
inside.
the fuel prices and that as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that obviously at some point in history that will
It's
happen.
gonna
anyway.
line up,
but
yeah.
still, like
I mean, that's
Interesting.
rather specific.
that is, yeah.
I mean, it's not obviously not unheard of.
Amazing movie.
But yeah, I do rate that I Am Legend. A lot
Yeah,
of people
it's a
shit
great-
on it.
Yeah,
Great
Isn't
movie.
he making another one?
I think, well, they certainly were.
Yeah,
But obviously with the Oscar
that?
slap, a lot of his projects got cancelled.
I Am Not Legend.
I am not happy with
shame.
what you just said about my wife.
Shame.
Yeah.
I would have liked a second one.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. The next one is like I Am Legend 2, and then in subtitles, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth. The next one is a bad example again.
Right.
Is Blade Runner. Now,
Blade
I
Runner.
recently watched Blade Runner for the first time. Weird fucking film.
Do you know what? I've
It
never
is.
seen Blade Runner.
Weird film.
Apparently it's set in the same universe as Alien.
Yeah.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
there's two.
It's-
isn't
well,
there?
it's
There's
fil-
the-
And the 2047?
Yeah.
26?
It's the old one and the new one.
2049, I think.
2049.
It might be.
I haven't
wrong.
seen
Might
the
be.
old one. The new one wasn't. I don't
Bit weird. Just Jared Leto being a weirdo, as usual.
That's it. Pretty much his MO, really.
Yeah.
Being a cult leader and that,
Yeah.
potentially. Yeah, so
The dream.
Blade Runner came out in 1982. I mean, we all dream of that, really.
Yeah.
And assumed that by today humanity would be a lot further along than we currently are. Although the setting is dystopian, on the surface, crowded, poor and corrupt, it implies an overall triumph of the human spirit that present day just wasn't able to live up to.
Yeah.
Humanity has conquered the stars, has colonies across the galaxy, at least as far as Orion, and has developed genetic engineering and artificial intelligence technology so advanced that they can create an artificial being indistinguishable from humans.
Is that the synthetic or whatever it is?
We haven't reached that level yet.
No, we haven't.
know.
That we're aware of.
Yeah, true.
What film is this again? The
Blade Runner.
Blade
Original.
Runner. Okay, the original. Yeah.
And they even use technology to recreate endangered animals, add the flying cars and holograms, and you have a pretty different version of the world today.
Yeah.
Yeah, flying cars, man. I remember growing up as a kid, my Uncle Hardy would always say to me, I was like 6, 7, 8, and because he always had like really cool cars, right? And he was like, when you get to my age,
Yeah.
you'll be in a flying car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just
My granddad
never
used to say it to
Yeah.
me.
Never happened.
So you'll be
Yeah.
in flying cars.
But I like as quick as we do advance with stuff like the internet and that. Like
I think it was slowed down.
yeah, when I remember growing up and it's like I used to think, God, man, imagine like what's gonna be like in like 20 years, and bar the internet.
Yeah.
Like
The only things that are really changing now is like, oh, what app is everyone going to be on that
Yeah.
was never really relevant? Or like, you go back 5 years, what's Uber Eats? And now it's like, oh,
do you know what we've gone
there's
from?
no like technological advancements.
Back in the day, when you used to imagine stuff, it was all very much like external stuff
Yeah.
that was going on, and like, but now actually
it's all just
everything's
in a device.
there.
Yeah.
That's where all the attention and
Yeah.
everything's there. And
Yeah.
it's like there's not. Obviously, there are advancements outside, but like there's less. When you're going up, like no one's working. No one gives a shit about flying cars.
Nah.
They're like, let's make stuff in here. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's where even if we brought out flying cars, everyone like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
oh, flying
So,
car.
yeah.
Wait a minute, YouTube
Yeah.
are changing the dislike button.
exactly.
eh?
Yeah. There's a new.
that is true.
There's a new documentary on Netflix.
Yeah.
Or like we just.
That's sad, isn't
It
it?
is. It is a. It is a.
Yeah. Flying cars, man.
I mean, if you think, I was thinking about this the other day. Like
I
with
mean,
my-
no
my-
congestion.
like,
You say that, there probably would be some congestion.
Yeah. But you just fly above, didn't you?
Yeah,
it'd be,
the UFOs.
crashes.
Yeah.
No, a thing of the past now. It'll be they're called something else, aren't they? What they've been
UAPs.
UAPs.
It's changed the name.
Yeah, because
unidentified aerial phenomena.
I don't know where I heard this. It might have been even one of you said it, but they've changed it because there were so many requests for freedom of information on UFO sightings. They were like, this is ridiculous. Everyone's just asking us for the same information constantly. So we're just going to change the name of them to UAPs.
So anything new now is a UAP. So if you ask for information on UFOs, they haven't got to give you the new stuff because it's so petty.
Right, okay.
But basically,
it just makes you suspicious, doesn't it? When
oh my god,
do stuff like that.
Yeah. Definitely.
Got another good example here. I've got one more good and then one more bad to finish on. Enemy of the State, another Will Smith film.
Yes.
Pretty good. I rate that film.
Yep, good film.
It's not paranoia if they're really after you, I think is the tagline for the film. Warned the tagline. Oh, yeah, it says it on the poster. For this Will Smith thriller from the 90s, while other movies like this one have cautioned us to the threat of Big Brother, watching our every move, none of them came as close to predicting how accurate the eventual surveillance would be. So in this film, there's a very heavy impetus on like being surveyed. And constantly under watch.
Yeah, that's what Snowden revealed, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When he leaked it all.
Yeah, so that was obviously the film, or that's alluding to how advanced or how many cameras are on you at one point and how really difficult it is to escape their view, basically.
Scary shit, isn't it?
But that was, I think that came out in the 90s, so...
God, yeah, imagine it. Do you think they've got the technology to lock into people's doorbells? Because if it's all linked to the internet,
must do.
You know what? With them Ring doorbells and that, like you sign the massive, long, laborious terms and conditions, and if you actually read it, it probably is in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, the government are able to view this.
Because I think so. Like an Apple tag, for instance.
Yeah.
I'll put that on my cats, and like obviously that pings off everyone's.
Yeah.
And that's just like 30 quid off Amazon.
Yeah.
Like it's a full-time tracker.
Yeah.
That's like there's no, so like, imagine, I just think if that does that, what can they do if they really needed to?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like surely they could surely they could go to the internet company and get all the passwords that they needed and get footage off. Like I don't even know they'd whether it's live footage or
connected to
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Like I say, the amount of cameras that are just in people's homes now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the big benefit is I have no doubt that with the since Ring doorbell and like Nest and all the other ones, I'm sure home burglaries have gone down considerably.
Yeah.
And there's always the argument of, well, if you're not doing anything wrong, then, but it is at the same time, it is your privacy just given up, isn't it?
I remember that film, what was it called? Minority Report.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, where they stop you before the crime has been taken, but then if you're stopping it from happening, then it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So there's the morality there, isn't there?
But that was
what an amazing movie.
That was
great.
Movie.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
He's on form. He has got some very good films.
I still need to see Top Gun Maverick.
It's a good watch.
A lot of people have said it's the best film they've ever seen. Is that a bit much?
For me personally, it's a bit much, but it's a good film.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very like in awe of the last one.
Yeah.
And the characters are good in it. The other actors are good. It's definitely a good watch. And like you never feel like, well, when I was watching him, obviously he plays an older character anyway, but he doesn't seem too old.
Yeah.
It's more about like, I don't know, it's weird. It's about him, but it's more about the other characters as well. Like the
Tom Cruise is 60 now.
Yeah.
I mean, he don't fucking look.
Fuck man.
He's
crazy. He does all his own
higher
stunts.
being, obviously, but he derives from
Scientology.
An alien
It's Tom
race.
Cruise's cousin.
So, Lob Bazaar.
It's Lob Bazaar.
Welcome.
Yeah.
But yeah, the last one, which is a bad example of a prediction, is Snowpiercer. The film, not the series.
Okay.
Good film.
I believe the series is based on the same piece of work anyway. So, Snowpiercer imagines a current day where the entire globe is subject to a new ice age with only a few surviving humans, most subjected to a runaway elitism and cruelty. What makes Snowpiercer future so unlikely is the apocalypse arose from governments caring too much about climate change. The ice age in the Snowpiercer film was caused by the world's governments uniting against the threat of global climate change, putting their best scientists to the task of fixing it, and creating a large-scale aerosol spray to dim the sun's rays. But the idea that humanity would unite to form a common good goal and try and fix the planet is very much a piece of science fiction.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That is very
It's
true.
just that, not even, I mean, we're literally in the midst of a war.
Yeah.
Do you think, like, Russia are thinking about, let's just,
Save everything.
let's save a bit of electricity here and there.
Yeah.
They're just lobbing fucking 20 missiles a go across the Ukraine.
I read a very scary article this morning that the Russian secretary for defense or some shit, I can't remember. Very important detail, but still, someone high up in the Kremlin has said if Ukraine join NATO, that will start World War III. They're like if that would be seen as a declaration of war from the world to Russia. So if they join NATO, it's gonna get fucking spicy.
There you go.
So,
is that on the cards? Is it?
I think so.
Yeah.
They signed the fast track to NATO the other day.
Right. Okay.
And this is what it's all been about, isn't it? Because that basically Russia want to create a wall between them and NATO nations, whereby if NATO were to attack Russia, they'd have to go through a certain channel, which would be beneficial from a military tactical point of Russia.
Got ya.
But slightly not controversial, but just an observation. I feel like Russia have actually shown, this is a massive fucking tangent, but I feel like Russia have shown that they're not actually as strong as what they were perceived to be. You know, a lot of their equipment is out of date. You know, they're being beaten by fucking Ukraine.
Yeah.
You know, or seems to be. You know, they can't even take Ukraine, and they were seen as this massive world power. I know they've got nukes, but everyone's got nukes. I think this has actually been a mistake from the perspective of obviously lives lost, but also from a show of strength. I don't think they're as half as strong as they were perceived to be.
Yeah, I think they may have. The thing is, like, in 2014, when they annexed Crimea from Ukraine, there was no resistance at all, apart from, like, local militia.
Yeah.
And I feel like they just thought that
Ukraine
there
would
wouldn't
roll
be
over.
their defense wouldn't be as good as it is now because of what happened in 2014. So they've gone over there with loads of outdated equipment, just expecting just to roll up and just be like, we're going to fucking destroy you.
Yeah.
But obviously they didn't account, I don't think, for the amount of arms that we were just going to fucking pump into Ukraine.
The support that Ukraine have got from, like, behind the border
it's
been insane. It's just like, we can't go over there, but, like,
you can have this.
Yeah.
Which is like,
how is that not a declaration of war?
Exactly. If it was flipped the other side, like, we'd be kicking off. We'd be like, what? No. You know, if China just started pumping billions of pounds into Russia and giving them loads of stuff, like, really, we'd be like, nah, that's not right, wouldn't we? We'd be kicking off.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah. And I get it, and it's, on the flip side, you say, we've got to help Ukraine and stand with them. So I 100% get it, and
but we're always the good guys.
Yeah, that's just,
so funny, isn't it?
It's
we're the liberators.
Yeah.
We help liberate.
Peace, not war.
Yeah,
exactly.
Apparently. But yeah.
If you're watching this from a bunker, well done. You survived. Just for a bit longer. If you didn't, we probably perished.
If you're watching this in 6 months' time and we're in the depths of World War III.
Yeah. Come here.
How are you getting
bunker?
How are you getting on? But yeah, no, Snowpiercer. I'll tell you, if you want a quick rabbit hole, we won't go into it, but those at home, if you want a rabbit hole for Snowpiercer, there's a massive video. It's so interesting. It breaks down all of the links, right, from Snowpiercer and how Snowpiercer is a sequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And after you watch it, it's like,
I need to watch it.
That's
What?
actually a
That-
fucking sequel to Charlie and the Chocolate
That
Factory.
is mental.
Yeah.
That is such a gap.
I know. And
Really?
yeah, it's a video. Just type in Snowpiercer, Charlie and the Chocolate
So
Factory.
both the films.
Yeah, that it's a
Okay.
sequel.
That
And it's in
is-
the same
What the
universe.
fuck?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay.
I've watched the series. It's quite a good series.
Yeah, I've watched the film. I really like the film.
The film's really good.
cool
The series
concept.
is good as well.
Yeah,
I watched
Okay.
like a couple of episodes of the series, but I've seen the film. That's got Chris Evans in it. Isn't it?
yeah.
Great.
Yeah, but no, really cool film.
Fucking
Yeah.
brilliant, man.
That was really
Fucking
interesting though. Looking
Yeah.
at
Yeah,
a glimpse
that's
at the
cool.
future.
Thanks, Mitch Payne,
Predictions.
96, for the
Yeah.
Simpsons heads up.
Yeah.
You've given us an episode for the old pod. Thanks, mate.
Yeah. No, thank you
Good
very
better.
much.
Yeah.
We appreciate it, and we will see you again very soon. Next week, to be specific. Up the APMA.
Up the
I need to
APMA.
Sweet One Geese again.
Yeah, that's
Fucking
it.
hell, up the APMA.
Throw a sweet one geese in there as well.
Up the sweet one geese.
That's it.
Up the sweet one geese.